This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
That's been the cool thing of watching people now, respect the kid and his play. And I still hear too much of, oh, it's McDaniel, it's the receivers, and then you can put other quarterbacks in there. And that, come on, man. It's like we've gone through 20 years trying to replace Marino, and stop telling me that you can plug anybody in there and just do it.
He's a good quarterback and this has always been the case, from accuracy, anticipation, throwing precision passes. We can say whatever we want about the deep ball, but that's not the foundation of his game. And the truth is, you shouldn't need to have to throw the ball 50 yards in the air on a regular basis. He is this era's. He has the potential to be this era's Drew Brees, and I love that. I respect that.
All right, so when you look at the job of the team overall now, and you see it 6-3, they got a good chance of being 8-3. Omar, after the 8-3, because I say that because it's the Browns in Houston, you should win those two games. After that, there's a 4-game stretch where you play at San Francisco, at the Chargers, at the Bills. Well, I don't know if Josh Allen's going to be there or not. And then there's one more game that's not that hard. Oh, Green Bay, because Green Bay is kind of looking ugly. But you look at those teams. If Miami and Tua win 3 of those 4, is Tua in the MVP conversation? Remember, you're 11-4 at that point. Let's just say
I don't think there.
I'm going 3-1. If you go 4-0, I'm pretty sure he's in the MVP conversation.
I don't think there's going to be a Tua MVP conversation because of the level of respect that he has and the disrespect that he's faced. Nobody is going to give an immediate about face and give him the praise and acknowledgement for what he's accomplished and what he's helped this team accomplish. What they will do is the
extremes. That's interesting.
What they will do is they will give Tyreek Hill, put him in the conversation for MVP, and say Tua is a byproduct of Tyreek Hill, who probably will be on pace for 2,000 receiving yards. And as a Dolphin fan, you get splitting hairs and crying about it. You can get behind one or you can get behind the other. See, you're not going to be able to get behind both. If you want Tyreek Hill to have a chance, you got to get behind him. And I'm sure Tua is smart enough to get behind him.
Tua's not that guy. He's not. He's not that guy.
So
he'd actually rather Tyreek win it than him. Knowing him, he probably would rather do.
And considering,
he only gives a shit about winning the games. That's it. So that's yeah.
Considering the offensive season that Tyreek is having, while I have a ton of respect for what Tua has accomplished, and maybe if he finishes the season as the number 1 rated quarterback in the NFL, which is a possibility, maybe he will be in that conversation, and his team gets to 12 wins. I think maybe if he's the number 1 rated quarterback and his team gets to 12 wins, they'll begrudgingly say, okay, you could be in this conversation, but we'd rather give it to Lamar, or we'd rather give it to Patrick Mahomes, or, I don't know what's going to happen with Josh Allen. I would say, is he in the top 5 of the conversation? No. Should he be? Yes. But Tyreek Hill is probably in the top 5, and that's probably the person, as long as he continues to put up these monster numbers, top person that the fan base should probably get behind, because he does have a legit chance to win it.
I never thought of it that way. That's a great point on your part, that might be some of the thinking that could get in the way. I personally think he'll be in the MVP conversation, but if he's not, it's exactly what you're saying, because so many put him down that for them to go from one extreme to all the way to the other extreme,
that ain't happening.
It would make them look so bad that they don't want to go that far. So instead, marvel at Tyreek approaching 2,000 yards or eclipsing 2,000 yards or whatever it is for a wide receiver. You know, it's interesting because he's playing his best football under Tua, and just like Kansas City, they had another number one next to him because Waddle and Kelsey are the equal, right? I mean, it's the same thing as being opposite of Tyreek. The other guy that gets a lot of attention is either Waddle or Kelsey. So it's kind of a lot of the similarities, but it's funny how in this system and with Tua, he could be having the best year of his career. So
you know what? You remember when Tyreek was on his Tua campaign and he was going to take names and tell everybody, Tyreek was 100% right, and people are gonna have to eat their words, and people are gonna have to give them their props and their respect. Remember when people were saying Tyreek is gonna fall off? He's not gonna have the season or the productivity that he had with Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes was a phenomenal quarterback. Well, Tyreek has been better with Tua than he has with Patrick Mahomes. Now people say what? And it's not like you're saying, oh, he came to a better offense or with a better head coach, because that's Andy Reid. Like that's Andy Reid.
Right. And no running game. They do have a running game in Kansas City. Here, there still isn't. There's a semblance of a running game, but over there, they have had a real running game on a consistent basis established. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I mean,
this has been, it's kind of like a honeymoon period, and you just don't want it to end. You don't want it to, the offense. I wish the defense was better, but I understand what they're going through, and this is evolution, and new players can help, and hopefully settle down in the secondary and get better, figure out a way to get better. Hopefully you don't suffer any injuries at linebacker because you're already paper thin there. I don't know what you're going to do if somebody gets hurt. But from an offensive standpoint, there's nothing to complain about that offense. And
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.